Have you ever opened up about a relationship struggle, only to be met with that familiar question? But what did you do? It's a response so many women recognize, one that instantly shifts the focus from the problem itself to your own actions, as if the answer must always start with you. Maybe you confided that your partner has become distant, and the advice you get is to be more affectionate, to try harder, to bridge the gap yourself. The underlying message: if you just love a little more, things will get better. Or perhaps you described feeling disrespected, only to be told you should communicate better, as if your words alone could fix a lack of respect. The advice often ignores the other person's choices and actions. These questions, though often well-meaning, subtly shift the responsibility onto you. They suggest that if there's a problem, it must be something you did or didn't do. This pattern is everywhere, from glossy magazine covers promising 10 ways to keep him interested, to talk shows dissecting women's behavior, to family dinners where advice is handed out like a prescription. When a man cheats, the first question is often, what was missing at home? Or was she neglecting him? The blame shifts to the woman, as if her shortcomings justify his betrayal. When he's emotionally unavailable, the advice is for her to find new ways to reach him, to be more patient, to try harder. Rarely do we ask what he could do differently. The message is clear. If the relationship fails, it's because you didn't do enough, didn't try hard enough, didn't love enough. It's an impossible standard that leaves women feeling like they're always falling short. Of course, self-reflection is important in any relationship, but there's a crucial difference between healthy accountability and unfair blame. True accountability means both partners examine their actions, not just one. When the focus is always on what women can do differently, it erases their partner's responsibility. It creates a dynamic where women are expected to fix everything, even problems they didn't cause. In real life, this can look like a woman in a support group, sharing her story of trying everything to save her marriage, only to be told she should have done more. Or a friend who's constantly advised to just forgive and move on, even when her needs aren't being met. You come seeking support, but leave with a homework assignment, and a creeping doubt that maybe, if you were just a little better, the problem would disappear. This cycle can be exhausting and isolating. More nuanced advice recognizes that relationships are a two-way street. Both people contribute to the dynamic, and both deserve to be heard and supported. When women are held to an impossible standard, they're left feeling alone, questioning their own reality, and wondering if they'll ever be enough. It's time to challenge this narrative and start sharing the responsibility for healthy relationships. Blame is often disguised as empowerment. Phrases like take control of your love life or be the best version of yourself sound positive, but subtly put the entire burden on women to fix relationship problems, regardless of the circumstances. When a relationship ends, women are asked, "What red flags did you miss?" Or, "Why didn't you see this coming?" The focus is always on what she could have done better. Rarely are men interrogated this way. Instead, their actions are often excused or left unexamined. The expectation is that women should have predicted everything, should have managed every emotion, every conflict, every warning sign, an impossible standard. According to relationship experts, this is a form of social gaslighting. If you're constantly told the key to fixing your partner is within you, you start to believe it even when it's not true. You think, if I just communicate better, he'll change. You invest in self-help, therapy, and endless self-improvement, hoping it will fix the relationship. But this lets him off the hook. As Dr. Emily Nagoski, a relationship researcher, points out, women are often expected to do the emotional heavy lifting, while men are rarely held to the same standard. His actions become your fault, not his choice. The narrative shifts responsibility away from him and onto her, regardless of the facts. This dynamic keeps the status quo. Women do the emotional work, men avoid accountability. The cycle is reinforced by advice columns, pop psychology, and even well-meaning friends. It's easier to blame women than to ask men to grow. As one therapist notes, society rewards men for minimal effort, while women are penalized for not doing enough. The result? Women are left exhausted, always feeling not enough, questioning their worth and replaying every moment for clues. The cycle continues, quietly reinforcing an unbalanced system, one where women are expected to adapt endlessly, while men are rarely asked to change. Pop culture and even history teach us, often subtly, sometimes blatantly, to blame women for relationship problems. For generations, advice columns, movies, and even therapy have reinforced the idea that if a relationship fails, it's the woman's fault. The classic rom-com formula is just the latest version of an old story. A difficult man is fixed by a patient, loving woman. Her emotional labor, her patience, her support, her willingness to forgive, is celebrated as the highest form of love. She bends over backward, changes herself, and is told that this is what makes her worthy of love. The story rewards her for enduring dysfunction, for staying even when it hurts. Meanwhile, men's struggles are framed as personal journeys, about finding themselves, not about learning to understand or support their partners. Women's happiness is always tied to fixing the relationship, to making things work, no matter the cost. Men's happiness, on the other hand, is about personal growth, independence, and self-fulfillment. These stories, repeated over decades, set up impossible expectations. Women learn to endure and fix, not to walk away. When real relationships don't match the fantasy, women blame themselves, convinced they just didn't try hard enough. We followed the script, but the ending was wrong. The pain is real. The message is clear. If he doesn't change, you didn't try hard enough. It's your fault. This narrative, passed down through generations and reinforced by pop culture, leaves women feeling like failures for not achieving the impossible. But maybe it's the story, not the women, that needs to change. Even in therapy, blame can sneak in, sometimes in ways that are hard to spot. Take the case of Anna and Mark. Mark withdraws emotionally, and Anna is immediately asked about her communication style. The focus quickly shifts to teaching Anna new strategies, as if she alone is responsible for bridging the gap, making her the emotional manager. Mark's frustration is often framed as a reaction to Anna's supposed shortcomings, rather than his own responsibility to engage. If things don't improve, Anna is blamed for not applying the techniques correctly. A pattern therapist like Dr. Lee say is all too common. True accountability, as Dr. Lee explains, means both partners are challenged equally, each responsible for their own growth. Therapy should ask, what is he doing to manage his emotions? Not just, what can she do differently? This shift is crucial, but often overlooked. Without this balance, therapy risks becoming another space where women are told the problem is theirs to solve, a double standard that persists, even behind closed doors. From the earliest years, girls are immersed in a world that subtly and overtly encourages caretaking. Sociologists like Carol Gilligan and Nancy Chodorow have shown that, through toys, stories, and the praise we receive for being empathetic, girls are taught that nurturing is not just a skill, but an expectation. In contrast, boys are encouraged to be independent, assertive, and competitive. Research by Michael Kimmel and others highlights how these early differences shape our sense of self and our roles in relationships. As women grow up, we internalize the belief that our value lies in maintaining harmony and meeting others' needs. This isn't just anecdotal. Studies show women are more likely to be seen as emotional laborers in families and workplaces. We learn to read cues, adapt, and keep everyone happy, often at our own expense. This is the invisible work sociologists describe, and it's rarely acknowledged. In relationships, this socialization means women often default to the role of emotional manager. We're expected to notice problems, soothe tensions, and keep the peace. When problems arise, we instinctively look inward, asking, what can I do to fix this? This self-blame is so ingrained, it feels natural. The idea that a partner should share responsibility may not even seem possible. Many women share stories of feeling selfish for even asking. This lifelong conditioning makes women especially vulnerable to advice that shifts blame onto them. We're primed to believe it's our job to fix things. When told to communicate better or be more patient, it simply confirms what we've always been taught, that the solution and the problem lies with us. Internalizing blame isn't a personal weakness. It's the result of a lifetime of social training, reinforced by culture, family, and even well-meaning advice. Breaking free means unlearning what we were taught about being women. It's a process, one that starts with recognizing how deep these roots go and daring to imagine a different way. Just choose better next time is one of the most damaging and misleading pieces of advice women receive after a breakup. It sounds empowering, but ignores the reality that people aren't always who they seem. In fact, studies show that nearly 60% of people admit to hiding major aspects of themselves in the early stages of dating. Harmful partners can be charming and loving at first. There are often no red flags to spot. According to relationship experts, abusers frequently use love bombing to mask their true intentions. Expecting women to have psychic insight is unfair. As Riley, a survivor, shares, "I thought I was making a good choice. He was attentive, kind, and everyone liked him. I couldn't have known what would come later." People change over time. You can't predict who someone will become. Research shows that 1 in 3 relationships will experience significant personality shifts in one or both partners. Blaming women for not foreseeing a partner's transformation is like blaming someone for an earthquake, unpredictable and out of their control. We don't pick partners from a perfect catalog. Our choices are shaped by context, history, and hope. Cultural narratives often pressure women to fix or save partners, making the idea of choosing better even more complicated. Reducing a breakup to a bad choice erases all nuance. In a recent survey, 72% of women said they felt blamed for relationship failures, regardless of the circumstances. This advice is more about making the giver feel safe than actually helping. It's a way to distance themselves from vulnerability. It's a defense mechanism, not real guidance. As one woman put it, "It felt like they just wanted to believe it couldn't happen to them." The truth? Relationship outcomes are never that simple. Statistics, culture, and lived experience all show choosing better is a myth that needs to be retired. The self-help industry constantly tells women to heal themselves in order to attract better partners. From best-selling books to viral online advice, the message is everywhere. If you just work on yourself enough, love will follow. While personal growth is valuable, research shows it's not a magic shield against mistreatment. Psychologists like Dr. Lundy Bancroft have found that abusers often target those who are empathetic and conscientious, not those who are broken. This narrative unfairly blames women for being mistreated, making them feel responsible for their partner's bad behavior. It suggests that their unhealed parts somehow attracted toxic partners, when in reality, studies show that manipulation and abuse are choices made by the abuser, not caused by the victim's flaws. In fact, abusers often seek out partners who are trusting, forgiving, and willing to work on themselves. Qualities that should be strengths, not vulnerabilities. You can be the most self-aware, emotionally intelligent person in the room and still end up with someone unwilling to do their own work, or even weaponizing your self-improvement against you. A healthy relationship isn't a prize for perfection. It's a partnership of mutual growth. Instead of endlessly running on the self-improvement treadmill, consider what research shows. Relationships thrive when both partners are willing to reflect, communicate, and change. Seek partners who are also committed to growth, not just expecting you to do all the work. The goal isn't to be perfect, or to fix every flaw before you deserve love. It's to be with someone who won't hurt you, and who's willing to grow alongside you. So what does truly healthy, transformative relationship advice look like? Let's break it down into actionable steps, guided by expert insight. Step 1. Validation. Listen deeply and believe women's experiences. Experts agree this is the foundation for trust and healing. Instead of, "What did you do?" ask, "How did that make you feel? And what do you need right now?" This shifts the focus from blame to support. Step 2. Mutual accountability. Balanced advice means both partners' actions and needs are considered. Experts recommend regular check-ins where both people share and listen. Ask, "What is he doing to address his issues?" And "How are you both working towards solutions?" Action, not just words, is key. Step 3. Teamwork. Relationships thrive when both partners actively contribute. Experts suggest setting shared goals and celebrating progress together. Step 4. Focus on actions, not just intentions. Effective guidance means tracking real changes. like improved communication or follow through on commitments. Step 5. Empowerment. Healthy advice encourages women to set boundaries, look for real change, and trust their instincts. Experts say this builds lasting confidence. The goal isn't to teach women to endure, but to help them recognize when a relationship isn't serving them, and to support them in making empowered choices. Remember, you're not responsible for fixing someone else. Experts stress that your well-being comes first. The best advice reminds you of your worth, not your flaws. A new blueprint for relationship advice is actionable, balanced, and always rooted in respect. If you're nodding along, this is for you. You are not alone in this journey. To the woman told she's too sensitive, or too much, or not enough, your feelings are valid and your experiences matter. You've been handed a script that says your job is to fix and carry the emotional weight. But there are other scripts, ones written by women who have found their voices and reclaimed their power. If he doesn't change, you're told it's your fault. But there are resources and people ready to help you see the truth. But it's not. You are not alone. There are communities, online and in person, where women lift each other up and share their journeys. Your empathy and willingness to work are strengths, not invitations for mistreatment. Many have walked this path before you and found healing through connection and support. You don't need to fix yourself to deserve love. You are worthy, just as you are. You deserve a partner who honors your strengths and does their own work. Real partnership is built on mutual respect and shared effort. Let go of the blame. It was never yours to carry. Many before you have let go and found freedom and peace. You are part of a new story, one of equality, hope, and real partnership. Reach out. There are people and resources waiting to support you. Together we rise.